What do you make of companies like Evergrande and Huawei and Xiaomi getting into this space now? Is that signs for you of a bubble?
No, 我觉得小鹏 Xpeng 就是 Xpeng.
Xpeng is Xpeng. It's not Huawei, not Xiaomi, not any other companies. What we want to do is to pursue huge innovation. We hope to be the explorer for the future of transportation.
What is up, people? Welcome back. Let's talk about Xpeng Motors. So today in this video, I'm gonna be covering some highlights from Shanghai Auto Show.
I just want to get your views on the broader electric vehicle demand that we're seeing in China. How much demand are we seeing as we head into the second half of the year for electric vehicles in China?
去年2020年
I think the EV market this year, especially the smart EVs, will see huge growth. I believe the smart EV sector will post double-digit growth, and I expect to see the high-end smart EVs to grow significantly, and that's what we're working towards.
Well, I think you're quite right, Mr. CEO. Your company delivered over 27,000 cars in the whole year of 2020. And in just the first quarter of this year, your company has already delivered over 13,000 vehicles. I think that makes it almost 50% growth on sales, and it is just within the first quarter of the year.
You had record first quarter sales for Xpeng. Do you see that momentum continuing through the rest of the year?
我相信我们
We broke our sales record in the first quarter, which is typically the quieter season. I believe we'll keep the momentum for the rest of the year, especially as we start taking orders for our P5 model in the second quarter. We plan to release the model in the third quarter and start delivering in the fourth quarter. We believe the P5 will help significantly raise our sales volume.
我期待 P5
I expect explosive sales growth for the P5.
So guys, Xpeng has exceeded 10,000 pre-orders for the brand new model, Xpeng P5 Sport Sedan, within just 53 hours of taking the pre-order. And according to Mr. CEO, they're expecting explosive sales growth on this model.
Now, Brian, always good to speak with you here. The P5, that's your first sedan. Why was it important to get a sedan in the market?
Well, actually, P5 is our second sedan. Our P7 was our first sedan.
So you started reservations for the P7 yesterday. Anything you can share on how it's gone since?
Well, it's gone very well. Actually, it has gone much faster and much better than the P7 launch about 2 years ago.
According to company's Vice Chairman and President Brian Gu, the pre-order number for P5 is going faster and better than the P7, which was their first sedan model. Safety is always the paramount. More than 100 people dies from road traffic accident in just United States. You can imagine how big that number would be for the whole world. According to Brian Gu, Xpeng has decided they're gonna have to pass a certain test to unlock that autonomous driving software, and they will be handed a sort of license. And he also said that Xpeng is the first company to do so.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that safety aspect, right? And sort of communicating with your customers what autonomous means and what is still necessary for them to do inside of the vehicle. How do you all think about that messaging?
This is actually critical, as you said, to really educate the driver to properly use autonomous driving features. For example, in our vehicle, we actually incorporate a tutorial as well as exam that every driver has to learn and take and pass before they're allowed to unlock the autonomous driving software on the vehicle. This is actually, I would say, the world's first sort of a driver sort of a license that automakers are doing for the technology. So for us, I think it's critical to have that tutorial and lesson in place, because you need to really educate whoever use that feature to know what is the limitation of those features and what they need to be aware on the road.
Another highlight about Xpeng from Shanghai Auto Show, they're making a flying car. And according to Brian Gu, their intention is to make a car which can drive on the road, can take off vertically, and fly on a low altitude below 100 meters. That is crazy. Honestly, that sounds weird.
And Brian, also Xpeng created quite the buzz at the auto show. Showed off a flying car, or maybe it's not even a car, a flying vehicle What are the details on that, and when might we see that go into production?
Yeah, so it's intended to be a flying car in the future. So we have invested in a separate company that designs and makes flying devices. And now we actually aim to combine the technology of Xpeng with the flying, device company to make flying cars. Our intention is to design a car that actually can drive on the road, but it can take off vertically and fly in a low altitude scenario, below 100 meters in altitude. And that's something we actually try to reach commercial testing by the end of this year. And hopefully we'll have something to show to the public and to allow the public to test drive sometimes next year.
According to Brian Gu, Chinese government will allow to use such transportation low altitude aka flying cars in some part of the country, and he sees a big potential commercially. Honestly, I'm not a fan of these crazy flying cars. I hope Xpeng will use more money on building auto industry, growing the EV industry. Alright, finally, don't forget you can get a free share worth up to £100 using Trading 212. Sign up to the link down in my description, register and then deposit at least £1. We both get one free share each worth up to £100. If you're still there, thank you very much for watching the video till the very end. Invest safely as always and see you in the next video.